Thank you, Savannah. New tonight at 6, Charlotte, one day away from electing its 7th new mayor in 9 years. In the race between Democratic candidate Vi Lyles and Republican Kenny Smith, a virtual dead heat, and voters are already turning out in record numbers. In 2015, 18,000 people voted in early voting. As for this year, more than 35,000 people already cast their ballot. NBC Charlotte's Michelle Bowden spoke to both candidates today. Michelle, how are they feeling?
Well, you know what, Fred, I think you said it. A lot of people did not realize that this was going to be as tight an election as it is. I think the candidates are surprised as well because the latest poll's showing pretty much a dead heat. So we had a chance to catch up with both the candidates, with the polls opening just hours away from now. Both Kenny Smith, the Republican candidate, and Vi Lyles, the Democrat who beat out current Mayor Jennifer Roberts in the primary, say the controversial bathroom bill and tangling with Raleigh needs to be a thing of the past.
We have spent the better part of 2 years dealing with issues that the city government has no role in and shouldn't be involved in, and they've divided our community. So we need to sit down with leaders from all four sectors of all four corners of the city and begin outreach to say, hey, here's our vision for moving our city forward.
We've got to build relationships with Raleigh as well as with the federal government, and we shouldn't tackle those kinds of controversial issues without having an understanding of what it means. That is the #1 lesson learned from our non-discrimination ordinance.
Beyond that, the candidates don't agree on much. Smith would be the first Republican since Pat McCrory left in 2009. Lyles would be the first African-American woman.
It's really about, for me, unifying the city around a common agenda. If you work here, you ought to be able to live here.
Smith says this election is about battling the violence in the city, a worrisome murder rate this year, and he says prepping for the growth Charlotte is expected to see.
Our top priorities are safety, infrastructure, and jobs. We want to get government back to focusing on the core functions of local government.
All right, so you heard there in the introduction of our story, twice as many people have already headed to the polls in early voting as they did in 2015, the last mayoral race. Still, though, lots more people registered to vote, still available to vote. The polls open at 6:30 tomorrow morning. Reporting live now in Uptown, Michelle Bowden, NBC Charlotte.
As you said, the 7th mayor in possibly 9 years. That is a staggering statistic. Very interesting backdrop. Thank you for that, Michelle.